All right, so we want to define, build, and shape your beta. All right, in 30 minutes, that's what we're going to go through. We're going to define your MVP. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? A lot of people, like, they have this idea that their MVP should be like a full-on like AI agent, right? But you want to start very small. Your MVP will probably have one or two action that you want to take and does one or two things, but does it really well. And then like you are going to prompt it into existence. Like Lovable and Replit allows you to kind of just see it in action where you don't need an engineer, you don't need a designer, you can do it yourself. And then we're going to deploy and test as well. And also with Replit and Lovable, you can have authentication. So that means your MVP should have the ability for users to log in and sign up. So you want to include that. You want to say, okay, the ability for users to log in and sign up, and then they open up this platform. Then you pick one of two features that they can do in that platform. Um, so before we even start, what I want to do is like define your MVP. It's like, who has the problem? Who's your ICP? What are you trying to solve? So I know, Shruti, you said like, hey, I want to build an AI agent for like climate, but who are you building it for? Is it people who are founders in climate tech? Is it investors? And then what do you want the problem to be? What is the like what do you want the painful problem to have? And then what's the one action your MVP enables? And then what are you not building? So like a lot of people think, oh, I have this perfect idea for my product, but really in product development and engineering development, even when I was building products for 100 million users, the way that we build it is through this agile methodology where every feature we define like one little action that that feature would do. We would build that, release it, and then build upon it. So you want to just do that throughout the entirety of your product because that's the best way to build it. Um, so for example, for me, for my Founders Bay website, who has the problem? It's founders. Founders were not able to like find events really easily. The painful moment is that they had to go to like Luma, Eventbrite, they had to curate event to be able to figure out what to do next. One action that my MVP enabled is just event discovery, and that's what I built first. And then what am I not building? So my dream was to have this platform where founders can like the LinkedIn of founders. And like I want Founders Bay to be like the LinkedIn of founders, to be like a Luma mix of, but I realized that in order to build this, I need to just focus on one problem. So I want to encourage you to write your answer to those. And then I'm going to give you 5 minutes and then we're going to go through one and then we're going to build the site according to one of you. So I'll give you like 5 minutes. And if you have any questions, just like ping me. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna continue next. All right, okay. Fake it until it's worth building. So when I started like when I started Founders Bay, there was so many features I wanted to build, like a user dashboard, an onboarding flow, notification, analytics, payment systems. But you don't really need to build all of that. You just need to make your kind of your product appear as it has all of it. So I would say like map out what you want your perfect product to be so you have this vision. And for now, just build like one thing that it does that could replicate that. So for your user, your onboarding flow, of course, every single like obviously when you're building a product where you want people to log in, you want the perfect onboarding flow. But at first you just have to hack it. Like for my Founders Bay, I had like two onboarding flow. What are you looking for? And then which city are you? And that's it. So like I faked this onboarding flow, but it's okay to do that. And then you build it over time. If also, for example, now I'm building a Luma equivalent on Founders Bay. I had people like post their Zoom link on it, and that's okay. So try to figure, and then also you don't need to build a payment flow that's super integrated. You can just tell it, hey, use Stripe. So at first, when people paid Founders Bay, they would have to go to like a Stripe page to build it, and that's okay. So try to like fake everything, not fake it, but basically simplify it. So at least you have something going on that people can use end to end. It's better to have that than wait 6 months for your perfect product. All right. So this is how you would do it. So you would start with your MVP one pager. You would write the perfect prompt with your MVP. Literally, like all you need with Replit, and I'll show you that, is you're going to say build a web app for blah that lets them do this. Use, this stack, include a form for this, deploy immediately. And in 5 minutes, you're going to have kind of an MVP that you have. And then you'll see it generate it. And then you can iterate with it. You can say, okay, change this button to blue, add a field for this. So I'll show you all of that. And then you can deploy and you can share the URLs and then you can start sharing it with people. Honestly, like I never thought that this could be this easy, but it is this easy. And then here you go, Replit vs Lovable. What is the right tool for you? So I started with Lovable. I started Founders Bay with Lovable. It was awesome because it's like beautiful UI out of the box. Everything is integrated really well. You don't really need to worry about infrastructure or anything else. But then when Founders Bay started getting like 1,000 to 2,000 users, Lovable broke. Like it wasn't a code base that I could scale with. So then I switched to Replit because Replit allows me to like deal with real code, with infrastructure. So that was way better for me as I scaled. But maybe if you're looking for an MVP just because you want to prove traction, Lovable is enough. But I want to show you Replit today. But I do encourage you to try both. Um, all right, okay. So don't skip authentication. So like what does that mean? That means that now what you could do is you can build beyond landing page. You can build a platform where people can log in and sign up. And I would say even if you build an app, all that it does is people sign up and people log in, then you can start adding on to it because your app you can then deploy like end to end. Um, all right, okay, and this is a template I'm gonna give you after this, but all right, so let's do it. Are you guys ready? I know you thought more about, okay, this will be more preparation, but you don't really need it. So, all right. I kind of wanted to show you before, I wanted to show you what I did with Founders Bay so then you can have an idea. So here on Replit on the left, you basically have this chat box that's very similar as in Claude. And you kind of prompt it to do whatever you want. So for example, you see this good afternoon, Marianne. I'm gonna say change good afternoon, Marianne on the landing page to be on the dashboard to be hi, Marianne. This is how you prompt it. And then you ask it to just do it. And then you can see it modify the code on the back end to do whatever you need. So all of this I vibe coded. So you see I have events that are populated. I have top event for you. I have all the community that you're going to see, community wins, WhatsApp community, all of that Replit built, but I built it through prompting. So here you go. You see it changed. Hi, Marianne. So it's that easy. It's like you're talking to ChatGPT. If you're like, hey, I want to have a new menu item that says, I don't know, what do I mean? Like about on the logged in page. And then you can say, build it. Here in Replit, you can create queues of stuff. So like it first does one thing, it validates it, and then it takes on the next item, which is really, really cool. So another thing, this is what I meant by us. So your app will mostly have two different states. It's going to have a state where people are not logged in. That's called the non-logged in state. That means if you're not logged in, the experience that you see with people, with workshops, with jobs, with perks, and the dashboard that you see when you click here will be different than your logged in experience. So like what you want to say is like for logged in, so a Replit, that's how you differentiate. That's how you do it in like coding wise. For logged in users, have a menu item that does X. For non-logged in, so you want to basically specify the state of your app for both, because your dashboard is going to be different. And another thing too is you can now integrate with Stripe. So basically what you can tell it is you can say like integrate with Stripe. All you have to do is then go to Stripe and enter the API keys. And if you don't know how, it's going to tell you like, I'm going to tell you, hey, let me update my Stripe API keys and guide me on how I could do that on Stripe. So whatever you don't understand, so Replit has Claude built into it. It's gonna help you, it's gonna guide you. So if you're like, hey, I want to do this, but I'm not sure how to do it, this agent will tell you exactly how to do it. And then when you're ready for your change, all you have to do is like basically click publish and you publish. But this is just to show you like what are things that you can build. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually go and we're going to build something from scratch. Um, so who wants to volunteer here? So Claude does not, so okay, so you could do Claude Code, right? That's not a problem, but Claude Code, just build the application on your local host. Then you have to take that code base and put it on the cloud so people can access it through the web. And that whole thing, you need to find like another, like you need to find Heroku, you need to find a GitHub. Replit builds your codes, puts it on the cloud, and in one button, you can deploy it to production, and it has Claude Code already in it. It's more expensive, but it honestly saves you like to have to figure out your own infrastructure, which like you don't want to do if you're building an MVP, honestly. All right, so who wants to volunteer for the first app? Raise your hand and we'll build your app. Shruti, is that a yes? You want to volunteer?
No, no, I'm still thinking. That was a thank you for answering my question.
Okay. All right, maybe Ibrahim. Ibrahim, do you want to volunteer for your app?
Sure. Yeah, I put it
All
in the
right.
chat, just a quick
Okay, perfect.
description.
So this is what we're gonna do. App for the elderly. So let's build an app. And you know what, Ibrahim, I'm gonna create a workspace for you. Um, so then I can just like transfer it over to you. So build me. So what do you want it to do at first?
Um, I don't know, probably just
Because you see, you have so many features here, right? You have manage
yeah,
the prescription, you have run an exercise routine, play memory game, health. I always recommend for your MVP, start with one thing.
okay. Uh,
So,
go with the exercise routine based
okay.
on, you know, uh, yeah, just exercise routine for the elderly.
Their ex to help and manage their exercise routine. And then where are those people located?
Most likely North America.
And how old are they?
We're talking probably 70 and up.
And up. Awesome. All right. So now the agent is gonna kind of create it on the spot for you. Again, if you have some experience in coding, I encourage Replit. If you don't, I do encourage Lovable because it's a little bit less. Yeah, here you go. See. I'll build a friendly, easy to use exercise companion app for senior. I'll have a friendly library of safe, senior-friendly, customizable daily routines, simple session logging with large touch-friendly controls, and a progress for a dashboard. And here, what you could do is you can also invite collaborators to come and join you. Also, the way that Replit works is that it's like per credit. So Power is basically like you using Office. It's very expensive. So I always recommend putting economy here. Um, and then while it's building this, let's say you don't, well, let's first start it and then I'll show you ways to optimize this. In here, you have your database. So Replit has two databases, your development database and your production database. Typically, you want to have them separated out because your preview will basically it's your test environment. So you don't want to have your database be production level. That's what I'm saying. In Lovable, there's only one database, so you'll never have to worry about it. But basically how you can see it is you could see in your database studio, you can see the table that it creates, the views, all your data here. Honestly, like I never had to check with Founders Bay, and now we have over like 200,000 members in it. So like you can go without it. But here you have your integrations, so you can integrate with Stripe, you can integrate with Notion, with Atlassian, with Mixpanel, right from the start with Twilio, which is really, really cool. And then here, yeah, your secret. So we're gonna go through that, but let's first see what it does. And then if you have any question, feel free to unmute and ask me because I can't wait, am I sharing my screen?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, that's the big issue. So this is what I put here in Replit. Build me an app for the elderly to help and manage their exercise routine. So what I did is I went on Replit. I literally copied that and I put it here. And I started start. So this is what it creates. So now you're going to have a preview of everything that it's doing. So now your agent is building your app and it's going to appear here when it's ready. So it's right now it's going and designing your entire code base and it's using the open API to do that. In here, this is where you can preview your app, you can publish your app. So while we're waiting, basically, Replit allows you to like, this is where it's different with Claude, is that in one button, you can publish it to the web. And you can also customize your domain name. So you can add your own domain name. It doesn't have to be seniorfitlife.replit.app. You can go buy a domain name and then you can link it here. And in one instance, it's going to publish it. So for Founders Bay, I linked it to Founders Bay domain through like GoDaddy. All right, let's see what what happened here. All right, see, it's starting to work. So what's cool about Replit is like when it finds bugs, it actually can go and it can resolve it on its own. So now what I'm gonna tell it is I'm gonna take that error and I'm gonna say like, hey, there is an error in my preview, fix it. And you can put plan. If you do plan, it basically does an agent in parallel. So you can have two agents do multiple things for your app at the same time, which allows you to move extremely fast because now suddenly you have like 10 agents building this app for you at a time. Yeah, if you have questions so far, feel free to unmute, but we'll wait until it's done and then we can figure out the rest.
Mariane, can I ask a question? I've heard people suggest that when in the beginning stages, that you put in the prompt and then you close with ask me any clarifying questions. and then it kind of goes through the build out. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you can do that. And I think you can like the thing is like because I don't have the idea, um, you want to see what it creates. Like what I found is instead of me telling it how to do it, I tell it what I want, and it actually provides better results than when I tell it what to do because it's gonna go and use like all the best practice in web app design to create what you need. So I'd rather see it first in action and then continue prompting it as I go. Because in the past, when I actually told it what to do, it created a way worse experience than when I just like let it go free.
I have two questions.
Yes.
So I just tried creating an app with Replit, and I already ran out of the starter free plan. Are you on the 20 or $100 plan
So for me, I'm
for
in the
Replit?
enterprise plan, right? Like last month, I
Oh, okay.
probably spent like a few thousand on my app, but my app, like I have 200,000 people, right? So like, yes, you do have to create more credits. You have to buy
Is
it, but
it
that's why Lovable is usually cheaper. So Lovable is way cheaper. And like we
is
can try
it
it here. What?
is it possible if I were to have a $100 max Claude plan to connect it to Replit?
No, I don't think those credit go over.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, vibe coding can get like expensive, but I think Lovable was cheaper for me to use. But it was like also it didn't allow me to scale, but let's try it on Lovable and you'll see. But I encourage you to try both. Lovable is great for your MVP, but it does not scale. Like it did not allow me to scale Founders Bay. After I had like 100 users, like you can see I had Founders Bay, but it wasn't as great. But it makes it extremely fast. So like we'll try it both. All right, the front end is done. It's still causing issue. And also it takes time. Like that's the thing is like while it's doing that, typically I have like 10 different agents running and then review now, start building. So now it's gonna like build it. And then you'll see Lovable. Lovable is typically a little bit faster. You have any questions, this is the time. Else we'll just have to wait. And this is a lot of what I do. Like what's cool about it is Replit has a mobile app. So like sometimes I'm watching TV with my kids and I'm just watching my agents build it for me. That's it. Like so because it does take time. It's like a real coder. Like it's actually going and creating all the backend files that you need to make this work. But you can like do other stuff while you're doing that. One of the things that you could do, I don't know if you guys know how to configure DNS, but this is how you would link your domain name. So at GoDaddy, I highly recommend using GoDaddy. Like I tried so many domain name providers. GoDaddy is by far like the best one that I found. So like if you go now GoDaddy, you can find a domain name that you want for the elderly app. And it's like elderly.ai or whatever. Okay, my elderly AI, right? Like actually you don't want to call it elderly. You want to call like because you don't want elderly to be called elderly. But like you can just buy a domain name very easy for $49. And then once you have the domain name, this is how you would configure it. You would go to um here like foundersbay.com, for example. This is my domain name. And then you would do manage DNS. And like in your DNS, this is your settings to be able to point to Replit. So I'll show you mine for Founders Bay. Hold on. Domain, manage DNS. So this is what Replit gave me. They basically told me you need to have www and at point to that. So all I had to do was like yeah, I had to just like manage it and then it takes care of everything. But you'll probably have to come in there. If you don't know how to do that, ask ChatGPT or Replit will tell you, or ask the agent itself. So I can ask it, how do I connect to a GoDaddy domain? And I believe now Replit has a tool that you can buy the domain name directly from Replit. and it'll configure it yourself. So here you go. See, deploy your app first, and then add your custom domain, update. Can I buy domains from here? So I've been asking it buy domains from here. Leopard doesn't sell domain. You need to purchase it. So like it's really cool that it can kind of does it here. Lovable, see, Lovable is better because Lovable tells you like what design do you want? So I'm gonna choose this one. All right, so this is what it created. So it created elder fit, good morning, ready to move today, start routine, good morning walk. But do you see that like here now, like there's nobody can log in, right? It's like just if people go in, they don't have the ability to log in because that's what they see. You want to populate it with real data, right? So like give me the ability to log in, create an account, and I can see my data there. So now I'm gonna ask it like, because now and everybody who goes on, like if you publish this, let's do an experiment. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to publish this and then you'll be able to access this domain name in a few minutes. But then there's no login, there's no sign up, like you just kind of see a landing page. So you want to give me the ability to log in, create an account so I can see my data there and create a nice landing page where people can sign up and it encourages them to sign up. So this is what I'm going to ask it to do. So you see how like it started by creating something and then I prompt it to do what I want. And then while it's doing that, I usually like test out every single feature. So I do next, it created this routine for you, gentle shoulder rub, seated marching. Awesome. And then you can create a routine, test. So preview while it's working, sometimes it just like restarts the preview. And then you can check your publishing here, but I'm gonna give you the URL. But isn't this like crazy magical? When I first saw this, I'm like, what is this? This is what I always dreamt of. Another thing also to do is if you actually want to make it like appear in production, after you finish, before you deploy it, have the agent run a security scan to make sure that it's secure. And let's say now you want to also make it popular. One of the things that you could do is like update the SEO of the landing page so that any person who is 70-year-old and looking for exercise routine can find me. So it's going to go and do the SEO of your site, but there's also something called GEO. I don't know if you guys are familiar with GEO, but GEO is basically the same as SEO, but for LLMs. So you want to tell it like update the SEO GEO, and then you want to also go and you want to create all the Instagram, LinkedIn for ElderFit. You want to, and then point it to here. And so then what you want to do, once you have the Instagram, LinkedIn, and everything, you want to say, put a link to the Instagram, LinkedIn, X and put the links here so it links it because that helps you be found on Google and helps you be found on everything else. All right, so now you have like your progress you have today. Now it's gonna go and it's building the login and create an account, and then Clerk is provisioned already for you. So anyways, like you can continue building it as you go. Lovable is a little bit more easier. So this is what Lovable produced. So Lovable produced like a different version, which is more like prescription. Oh, because I told it, give it everything. That's why you don't want to tell it, give it everything. That's why you want to start with one thing. And Lovable, it's actually easier because you don't have to worry about like multiple databases. You can deploy it. If you're not like a coder, I do highly recommend you start with Lovable, but Lovable does not have like the ability to have multiple agent built for you. It has to do it like one after the other, which can be a little bit slower. Yeah, and then soon I'm gonna share. Here you go. So now the link is available. So now this link, you can share it to everybody and then they can use it. Like everybody can go and see it now.